Howdy all! Welcome to the final part of my Sonic 2 playthrough. In this part we're gonna finish the game, hopefully. We're in Metropolis right now. The first zone in the game to have 3 acts instead of 2. It's also a level with really annoying enemies. That there was the Shell Cracker, I believe. And Asteron or whatever it is. Anyway, in these levels, the enemies are really frustrating. Asteron fires like 5 points at you. Slicers like to do that to you. You know what they did. And Shell Crackers have like one big massive fist on one side. Imagine if they were facing the opposite way, they'd be useless. But yeah, enemies in this level, annoying as sin. But the music in this level is incredible. Not that you can hear it now because it's supersonic. Rawr! That was, I admit, kind of deliberate. I want to hear the Metropolis theme too. Ah, take that, Slicer. Yeah, this is Metropolis Zone. Kind of cool level. Really awesome music. My favourite in the entire game, in fact. And I just love this level. I think it's awesome. I mean, this is probably the point in the game where I start to feel really challenged. Everything in the first 2 parts, well, not counting the Chaos Emerald getting. You know, all the first bunch of levels, easy peasy. I've never really ever had a problem with them. I can get through them easily every single time. This is the point in the game where the game starts to actually present a little bit of a challenge. With Sonic 1, the challenge presented itself much earlier. Some people liked that fact, some people didn't. And you know, I kind of like that fact. Because I like games that present a little bit of a challenge. Not an overly frustrating challenge, but a nice challenge. And you know what? This level is a nice challenge. I like this. And it's also one of the reasons why I personally prefer Sonic 3 and Knuckles to Sonic 2. Well, one of the many reasons why I prefer Sonic 3 and Knuckles to Sonic 2. It's just that I felt that game was a lot more challenging than this one. Though this game eventually did reach a point where it does start getting challenging. And this point is it, but it's just like halfway through the game that it starts to get really challenging. That I just reached a point where God, and the controls obviously send me out of control. I can't listen to the awesome Metropolis theme anymore, damn it. I've got to take it careful now, because I need to go across those blocks. Don't think I needed to with Knuckles, but with Sonic, evidently I do. Otherwise it just kind of goes into like a sort of reverse thing. Asteron. Whoa, we'll see. There is a glitch in this level, but I avoided it, so who the hell cares? That's Act 1. Already. But this level is a lot more challenging than the levels before it. At least in my opinion it is. Never had a problem with all the levels before this. Even when I was a kid I had no trouble with them. But this level is actually kind of challenging. There's lava to avoid. You know, the annoying as sin enemies like that bloody Shell Cracker. That placement is so awful. Plenty of, you know, slicers like that, placed rather awkwardly. You know, it's not an easy level, but it is an awesome level. Definitely got a Scrap Brain vibe here, but it feels more livelier, less threatening at the same time. But you know, not necessarily bad. Far from it. The Scrap Brain did feel more threatening. But now I can't listen to the awesome music! Woo! Where's my awesome music? Okay. Well, at least while I'm supersonic, the enemies aren't going to give me too much grief. In fact, they're not going to give me any grief. They can't do anything to me. I'll really be precise with some of these jumps. It's one of the reasons why I don't like supersonic. But going up these corkscrews, pretty good with supersonic because he moves so fast. And there are plus sides to supersonic. I don't completely hate him. Just in this game I wish that the controls were a bit better. And, you know, that was one of the things I felt was improved upon in 3 and Knuckles as well. I felt like I was able to control supersonic much better in that game. Ah, fuck, see? You need specific jumps, and that's kind of irritating. Otherwise you're not going to make it. Gotta be so specific here. Oy vey. With that jump, you would, if you were playing Knuckles in Sonic 2, you would need to climb up it because Knuckles would not be able to make that jump. Anyway, there's probably another question. Tails and... If you're playing Tails in Sonic 2, he can collect the Chaos Emeralds, but nothing happens. So really, that's another reason why I didn't really like Tails' the way they handled Tails' inclusion in this game. He hasn't got a super form, and I suppose it's fair enough. Not every creature can expect to have a super form, but it's still kind of irritating. Because it's like, oh yeah, there's no point to the Chaos Emeralds at all. If you're playing Knuckles in Sonic 2 and get all the Chaos Emeralds, he can become Super Knuckles. But he has all the level of control that Sonic 3 and Knuckles had over him. So he's very much easy to control. I wouldn't say he's that much faster. He is a little bit faster, but... Oh, it's difficult to really remember at this point. But yeah, you can control Super Knuckles. Oh god. Made it over that shell cracker. Oh god. Those things can crush you, be careful. I'm trying not to go too fast up there because of the spikes. And these bloody Asterons, they will always activate, so you've got to make sure you stop in good, you know, the right sort of place every time they come close to you. Otherwise you're going to get sent flying off this thing. And that will pose a problem, because then you have to go away and then come back for the corkscrew to reappear at the bottom. Thank God for that. It's, you know, taking it slow, really, just taking it slow. Oh. This is kind of like the gimmick of Act 3, is these giant things that just turn round and round and round. Rotate and shit. Whee! Oh, go away, Supersonic, I don't like you! There's probably only one boss which I really do use Supersonic on that I don't particularly care about doing it properly. But that's just because I didn't like the boss to begin with. But that won't be for a little while yet. It's not in this stage, I can tell you that. There is one advantage to being Supersonic. Those badly placed slicers can't really get in the way. But yeah, if I was playing this game regularly, I wouldn't even be bothering with the Chaos Emeralds. Just because, you know, screw it. I don't particularly care to get them. Supersonic is just, eh. And the ending, I think, is better if you don't have the Chaos Emeralds. That's just my personal opinion. I'm kind of waffling now because I really... Oh, for fuck's sake, I oversped it. Well, at least you know for certain that will not be going into this boss as supersonic. Because we're coming up to the boss fight of Metropolis. Didn't take long, did it? 3 whole acts and we're through near enough. This boss is kind of tricky if you don't know what you're doing. But really, not too much of an issue. You hit him, Robotnik lets off a balloon that looks like him, and then you can hit the balloon, and I fucking died. This boss is really easy if you take the time. If you were to just not do anything and just wait for Robotnik to reach a point where you can hit him really easily, you'll have no problem. You'll be able to get through this easily, but I'm unfortunately not that patient. I just want to get through this boss quite quickly. But if you let him go here, there and everywhere, just, you know, with the balloons and all that, and then until he finally, like, centers them on himself and stuff, you'll never have an issue. But, like I say, I'm just too impatient. And I'm holding onto that ring for dear life. But yeah, Robotnik will not be able to move until you've taken out one of the balloons. You know, the balloons. The balloon that he lets loose. And then he'll eventually, when you've got rid of all his balloons, he'll eventually come down to the side here. You can just finish him off in one hit. See, without those balloons, Misty, you're nothing. And that's Metropolis Zone. One of my personal favourite zones for actually including a mem challenge. Oh, but the next level is Sky Chase, and this is a really unique zone because Sonic rides on Tails' plane throughout the whole zone. This is only 1 act long, so not like Metropolis, which had an extra act. This is just like 1 act, and it's not even very long. In fact, the days of the 2 act zone are over in this game. So from now on it's just like 1 act from here on out. The enemies are really easy to take out. There's like these turtles which fire shots at you, these plane bird thingies, which if you're too close to the side of the screen you can't see what's coming towards you, can be a problem. These helicopter things are the easiest ones to take out. Don't let them get too high above you because they'll drop spike balls on you like it did there. Okay, and yeah. Yeah, that turtle's like a little bit of a death trap because those birds just fly in. So that's why you kind of got to take your time and be patient. I believe if you were to spin dash too much or whatever, you can die by falling off the plane, but for the most part where you walk, Tails will kind of fly you towards. So it's incredibly difficult to die in this stage. If you actually died in this stage, well, bravo! I've never really seen it done. I mean, it can be done, I know that. It's not hard at this level. But I can let it off for that because it's unique. And then there's just these turtles to overcome, and then that should be the end of Sky Chase already. Very short level. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Sometimes it's best just to avoid enemies if you think they're going to kill you. That's why I just decided, you know what, screw. If you want to stay a robot, you stay a robot. I was going to save you, but you know what, screw you. You've given me too much grief. Anyway, this is Wing Fortress. This is also a 1 act, like, zone. follows on directly from where Sky Chase left off. Tails has been sent plummeting to the earth. If you're playing with Tails as your partner, he is still out of action in this level, which is kind of frustrating if you're playing this in 2-player, because the person playing as Tails would kind of have to put the controller down and not be able to do anything from this point in the game onwards. I mean it, from this point in the game onwards, Tails is useless. In fact, I probably think he's useless in Sky Chase as well. I'm not sure. But yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention that you can play as 2 players through this game. Though whoever gets to play as Tails kind of gets screwed in the foot, if you ask me. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Never fear, there is a shortcut. Right here. And yeah. There's plenty of shortcuts in Wing Fortress that just really lower the amount of time it takes to get through this level. And yes, I don't particularly care if I stay as Supersonic in this particular level, because I don't like the boss this time. It's not frustrating, it's just that I don't like it. So I'm just choosing to make my life easier. And I know I didn't take the shortcut that I could have taken, but whatever, I don't care. I'm going up here. There's also another multiplayer mode where you can race Sonic and Tails through levels. It's pretty darn fun, I will admit that. I quite enjoy it. Not the best Sonic multiplayer I've ever played in the world, but it's fun, I like it. So anyway, here's the boss. It unleashes like these platforms with spikes underneath it. You're supposed to stand on the spikes and hit that laser beam before, but also trying to avoid the laser when it comes out. It's frustrating purely because of the spikes on the bottom of these platforms. So I just prefer to be a cheating bitch and use Supersonic here. Why the hell not? I don't normally play as Supersonic, so I'm just going to take full advantage of it. Hidden Life. Drop down here and we get a sort of cutscene where Robotnik gets away, and for whatever reason Sonic's spines have gone back to normal here, and despite the fact that Supersonic can clearly fly, he still waits for Tails to come and take him up, and Tails has somehow strapped a rocket to the plane, you know, just very, very astonishingly quickly. I guess the kid really is a genius. Anyway, we hang on to the ship and we go flying into space. I'm well aware I'm going to run out of rings, but you know what? Doesn't matter anyway, I'm still not going to have any rings in the next level. At this point, it's pointless. So we head out into space and we dock into the Death Egg Zone. I don't know, but I heard this was originally supposed to be a level at one point. But it isn't, it's just like 2 bosses and that's it. No rings either, so this is quite challenging. I always tend to just go down here and spin dash off and get about 2-3 hits off of, about 3 hits off of Silver Sonic. You want to avoid the spikes. You hit the spikes, you're dead meat. He generally has a pattern and he tends to stick to it. He'll dash. He'll spin a ball and stuff. Once you've got Silver Sonic down, he's actually really not that hard. It can be kind of irritating the first few times you fight him, but you know, he's got a really straightforward pattern, and once you remember that and just stay away from his spikes, you'll never have a problem. I've seen people take him out super quick, but I just decided to take my time with it. Anyway, the final boss. The Death Egg robot. This robot's been brought back so many times. It's been brought back in Sonic 4 Episode 1, and it's been brought back in Generations. And for good reason, it's a damn good boss, very memorable, very epic. And also very challenging if you haven't got a clue what you're doing. Here's the basic gist of it. I know that there are people who can get through this boss much quicker. But I'm taking my time because I admittedly do suck at this boss, and I want to make sure that I do finish this game and just show off what I consider to be the proper way to fight him. You can get in more shots than what I'm getting in, but I'm just like not taking too many risks. Sonic can jump quite high, so you can hit him there when he stops walking. You've got to avoid the spikes on his arms, because otherwise you will die. No rings, so one hit kill. He'll glide into the sky, he'll land where you are, so you've got to run at the last minute. Bend down, hit him, he'll fire his arms at you, then he'll fly back into the air and try the same thing again, which again won't work. Hit him again and he'll start walking. And rinse and repeat, really. You know, just walk, fly, land, fire arms at you, which you can easily get away from by going to the other side of the room. In the air, crash down again, walk again. This guy's got such a simple pattern, it's not even funny. But at the same time, you know, the lack of rings really does make this a very hard boss. If you're playing with Knuckles, this boss is slightly harder because Knuckles can't jump as high. So the only time you can really hit him is when he's stooped down, like, you know, just there, like he was then. Otherwise, Knuckles is as dead as a dodo. He will hit those spikes. He will not be able to jump while Eggman's robot is stood up straight. And yes, I call him Eggman. But, you know, this boss is just like practice and patience and stuff. And as a fan of Sonic, I don't normally have the greatest amount of patience, which is why I've always just charged through this boss before and struggled. But if you take your time with it, it's actually really easy. Does not require ninja reflexes, Lewis. Just requires patience. But like I said, Knuckles' boss fight with Death Egg Robot really isn't that much harder. You just got to bear in mind that he can't jump as high, so you can't hit him as many times as Sonic would. You won't be able to take as many opportunities as what Sonic would be able to. Or Tails, for that matter, but I rarely ever count Tails, because he essentially plays the same as Sonic in this game. He can't even fly. If you beat the game without getting the Chaos Emerald, Sonic will fall from space and Tails will catch him on the plane, and I kind of like that ending better than this one. Because Tails flies up and there was no reason for it because Sonic is fine. And it just beggars the question, if you could fly here, then why the hell did you not fly when Eggman, or Robotnik, whatever you want to fucking call him, fleed into space? Why did you need Tails to come along with a rocket attached to his plane to help you get onto the ship? I don't know. But that's Sonic 2. A really darn good Sonic game if you ask me. Not my personal favourite, but I do enjoy it. And that's what I mean by a really quick playthrough that's really quick and easy to get finished. Oy vey. But I do intend to get on with the ones that I've already kind of got up there, so you know. I will do them, I promise. It's just that I wanted to get a playthrough done that was really quick and easy and simple and wouldn't take anywhere near as long. And that was Sonic 2 in a nutshell. And like I said, I'm not covering Knuckles in Sonic 2 in terms of commentary. Because I really don't think there's that much difference. Not enough to warrant another playthrough in any case. Or another commentary, I should say. But I have got his playthrough uploaded on VG Playthrough if anyone is interested. It's in the same playlist as Sonic 2. Because it's essentially the same game, so I don't see the point in just like labelling it as otherwise. But yeah, I do like this game. Fantastic music. And really darn good gameplay. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think, fixed up the gameplay, you know, tweaked the gameplay from this and made it better. But the gameplay here was really good, because it took what, you know, the issues that were there in Sonic 1 and, you know, made them better. And that's what you do with a sequel. You make the games better. You don't get worse. Unlike the Mega Man X series, where the first X game is still the best one. In my opinion. You know, with the retro Sonic games, they did get better. The 3D games, mixed opinions on them by, you know, general Sonic fans, but I kind of enjoy a lot of them. There are a few I don't like, but meh. Yeah. Highly recommend this game if you've never played it. And if you've never played it, my god, you are a one unlucky soul. Seriously, recommend it. Great game. Great, great game. And, yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. But yeah, that was a quick playthrough I thought I'd get up there. Sonic 2, fantastic game. Do play it if you've never played it before, though why you haven't played it before is beyond me, but whatever. I will cover Sonic 3 and Knuckles in the future. Don't know when, but when I get around to it, you'll know. I'll see you guys then.